Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. It's not a play-by-play today. We are here, we are watching some ELO Hell. There's a solo lane ELO Hell I wanted to watch. I did not know this was a thing. I got a comment on my YouTube, I literally just showed it. And yeah, it's in the thumbnail. So pretty freaking cool. Now, a really interesting context here, okay? So obviously I just woke up. I think that's very obvious. I literally um, woke up, the first thing I tend to do after I like just, wake up a little bit is I go on my phone and I check my YouTube comments, see if there's anything, nice to reply to, anything helpful. And I saw one that in ELO Hell had just happened the other day. So now, how does ELO Hell work? This is an Obsidian player, and the funny thing is we've actually looked at one of his games before. This was a reaction we did a couple of months ago. He played Achilles solo, and it was ass. Okay, you can watch the video. It's still on my channel, obviously. Very, very bad Achilles game. But hey, I'm always here for the journey, the comeback, the climb, a better showing. So the player is Bliss. Weekend does an ELO trial before he does an ELO Hell nowadays because there were a lot of really horrific looks. And effectively, the ELO trial is that you need to play a game within your skill bracket. So that is like, if you're an Obsidian player, you need to play a game amongst a lobby of Obsidians first. And if you show out in that game, you become eligible to go for the next round where you then play like a super stacked lobby proportionate to your skill, and we see how you do. So this was that
And that's
previous
all
game. We're
coming
not going to
in.
react to
The
this game or
Achilles just
watch it
unkillable, bro.
because he is, doing a top-down POV. The idea is that it's ambiguous. You don't actually know who the ELO Hell participant is, but like he's going nuclear, 13, 1 and 12. He's the Achilles. Big time game,
But his
like
early game, he
completely,
didn't ult that.
sorry, completely smokes out. Obviously, I'm gonna have weak community because I wanna do some unbiased solo lane reaction. But I'm really here. I'm rooting for him this time around because I like a good comeback. I want to see people do well after they get humbled the first time. So now, so remember, this guy's like Obsidian-ish. Um, it's hard to say like when people are doing ELO Hell because they just want to like be on the stage versus they really think they're stuck. It's usually a combination of the two. I think what you'll find is like, okay, ELO Hell does not exist. I want to be very clear, but um, a lot of players, I think their issue is consistency because their fundamentals are spotty. So anytime as a player you feel like you're not climbing, try to bring it back to simple stuff. Am I building the right way? Am I picking the right gods? Is my attitude like stable when I'm playing in the sense of am I just like tilt queuing and losing? Stuff like that is really important to just like eval a couple of times a month maybe or every couple of weeks, and I think you'll actually find like pretty useful feedback just right away. So for some context, so he gets placed now in this game. Um, I want to give a little bit of context on this lobby because I know these players. Basically, Bliss, who's the solo, is now getting put in he's a 4K-ish player, he just nuked in the Obsidian game. He's getting put in like a 5,700-ish lobby. Now I want to be clear, not all these players are the same skill. John Rowing's a solo laner who is like if I'm trying to like give like semi like global rankings so you guys get a rough idea of like how good players are. He's a solo laner who's off rolling on his team as I presume ADC or mid. He's like a top 8 solo in the game. And Dishonored, who Bliss is leading against, is also a top 8 solo in the game. I'm probably being a little conservative on that. I'm not counting the EU guys. If I was, it's a little harder to tell because I've played against the EU solos, but I don't want to like, contrast because it's not 100% fair. I have less, sample size. But for NA only, let's just say that he's playing against the top 8 solo in the game pretty easily. I'm kind of being a bit conservative. It's probably closer to like top 6. So I say that to say like this guy saying he belongs in, let's say 5K. I don't know what rank he says he belongs in, but let's say he says he belongs in 5K. If he does bad into this specific solo, it's really not like a huge fault, I guess, right? Like this is more so saying I belong in 6K if you're beating the solo, and that's like a lot more relevant. Uh, Rank does not always equate purely to skill because naturally very top players won't sit there and like grind ranked in the same way as like a thing of climbing. Like I think my channel is like a really good example of that. I know I'm like top 3, but still. But I just wanted to lay that context down. The rest of this team is solid. Ripzer, I think, is like a pretty solid demigod jungler. Tametoy is a really good mid laner. Jigan is off-roll, but he's still solid. Bop Bop is really good, but he's off-roll as well. The best player on the red team is Dishonored, it's not even close. So anyways, I wanted to set that pretext. So let's see what goes on. Jormungandr with an Axe Rush. I'm a little upset with that. I don't love it. I think you want to go Bluestone on Yorm, and he's going a 6-pot start with Agility Relic. So here's kind of the thing with this build, and here's what I don't like about this. Again, I'm going to try to be very objective here. The problem with this build is that in solo lane right now, you are typically resetting in more competitive matches before the first rock spawn, which is at 3 minutes. The problem with this build is you're getting effectively so many potions, and it's going to be crammed into such a short period of time that before that rock reset that you want to be strong for, you will invariably back to get a component to be stronger for that fight. And if you have 6 pots, you're literally just not going to run through them. So you're just going in an unnecessary larger amount of potions than you actually need, and you're delaying your build because of it. So never, and I literally mean never, ever go 6 pots in this current game. After the side jungle got removed, after fast TP systems got slightly altered, you never went 6 pots. This has not been a build for a while. Also, the potions taking for longer and healing a little bit more contributed to this change, so it's bad. You don't do it. Also, ever since Agility Relic has been shifted to no longer be super viable on Yorm, you don't do it. So you're supposed to go into Shell or Aegis or Beads or even Sunder, literally just not Agility Relic. So already the build is a little bit fucked. And, you know, we talk about as players like we need feedback. If you're playing into a really good solo laner, you're setting yourself up for failure, not success. Definitely not success with this. I'm not saying he's going to do bad. I have no idea how this game's going to go, but I really, really wanted to see a better build coming out level 1. All right, let's do it. Let's see how this goes. So this matchup, by the way, in case you're curious, is a skill matchup. It used to be hard Yorm favored ever since a couple of Yorm nerfs, Agility Relic no longer working on his autos. This has become a skill lane. I think Bologna can win it. I think Yorm can win it. I would say it's probably 55-45 Yorm, but it's definitely winnable for Bologna. I'm surprised he played this matchup. Again, maybe his Achilles and stuff got banned. If I'm a solo laner going into a top solo laner, and I know that's the best player on their team, I'm never giving them Bologna. So this is like a little bit unfortunate, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Yorm still just does crazy damage.
I think I can have Weaken on like this volume for a little bit of time.
If you don't
This
really
should
know
be
the
okay.
matchups, this guy is
So
super
generally how this matchup flows is that Bologna, although she's supposed to be this kind of lane push stomp early game character, you actually play fairly conservative for the first few levels, and doing less is generally more. If you can get like a nice bludgeon off like this without getting hit by the pools and the autos, which you really made sure to have happen, it's kind of completely fine. Um, but yeah, you really want to just kind of chill. So far, I think Bliss is playing this lane pretty well. You want to stay in your pools and kind of just like backpedal Agility Relic this. Ew, ew. So again, if you're gonna go Agility Relic, you may as well have it. The reason why as a solo laner we want Shell in lanes like this is a high combat lane. He's already honestly, I think, over-traded a little bit on Bologna here. If you have Shell and you could just sit there and kind of breathe on him while popping Shell for that bludgeon hit, your trade is actually like quite good, right? So if we look at this trade and we literally just we Agility Relic back into this pool, and we auto him, or we just Agility Relic out like right here, we're actually extremely happy. Again, this Agility Relic is a 20-second cooldown. I want to be very clear. So if you are going to build it, and again, I personally don't prefer it anymore. It's not as good. It's not worth it. But if you are going to go it, you may as well use it, right? Having your relic, which is a combat relic, and this is for Shell as well, on a like perpetually long cooldown for no reason is just wasting the relic's usage. You may as well not have one. So very, very important to actually use the things you have. I think so many times people hold their stuff for, a seemingly more optimal situation, and then it would have already been up by that point anyway. So really, really be mindful of that. He's in a little bit of a dodgy spot again. I think this is largely because this build is just not strong. Another thing here, well, not just because the build's not strong again, that trade was terrible, but I'm micromanaging. I want to be clear, like he's going to be playing a harder, more tight matchup than you normally would. Most Bolognas, I'm telling you, there's like 5 Bolognas in the game who is going to be better than this Bologna, if that. So like, I'm not trying to be harsh. This is kind of what happens. I don't expect him to do well. I want to be very clear. Uh, Here's the thing, right? In this lane, if you're going to be building this doo-doo build, you got to use your chalices first. What's the point of using these residual health pots? I have a question for you. If you have 2,000 gold on your first spec, you won't, but let's say you do. Are you going to be selling your chalice or your excess health pots? It's extremely obvious. You're always going to sell your excess health pots if you don't need them. You're never going to sell your chalice. So what's the point of buying 150 gold of pots that, first of all, you don't need, to then not even pop your chalice? You always pop chalice pots first. This makes zero sense. So it's just like some fundamentals in the extreme early game is literally just like self-handicapping. Like we just spawned in down gold with the worst build for no reason, with the relic we're not using, right? These are the kinds of things that like as a player, like you're just ruining your own start, right? This 3 is nice, but he has to agility relic out here. He does. Now he's gonna be okay. It's a bit of a tricky spot. And notice he has 3 pots taking so far, right? Because he had 3 health pots. And as you can see right now, like he's in a bit of a bad spot. What should you actually do here? Probably just back, and then you really don't get the potion value. So if I'm him, I reset right now. We don't actually see his gold because spectator is terrible. But if he just went a 3-pot build with tier 1 axe like the Bologna did, he could probably reset right now and go into like tier 2 Reaper. He could also right now, even with his build, reset right now and go a tier 1 axe or maybe go a tier 2 Reaper. Probably not, but you know, he could get a component here and come back full health. And again, most importantly, as a solo laner, we're trying to be strong for this first rock timer. This back would be a little bit early, but like I don't see him achieving much at this health bar. I know I'm really like micromanaging this lane right now, but this is like relevant to do. Okay, a little bit of tag poke on the totem. You do not want to contest this. Why? Yes, you have health potions. He has a pseudo 20% health increase with the shell. You do not win this at all. This is a terrible trade, and you would never, ever, ever make this trade. He should just be dead here. Maybe not actually because of the agility relic, but it's going to be quite close. So yeah, he won't quite die. Agility relic to save him. But again, this is not about agility relic. This is about understanding our fights. We as a character cannot function well into this fight. How do I know that? Because I play this game a lot. If you don't know that, I mean, here's how you find out the hard way. I would hope you would not find out the hard way in this level of lobbying at this time. So really, I think instructive point is your number one, you want to fight around the wave. Number two, you function well when the person can't auto attack you. You have pretty good self heal from auto attacks with your one, slow with your 3 knockup, with your 2 having this kind of spread damage in the pools. But a totem fight like that is just not going to do you well. So notice Bologna is backing. Why is Bologna backing? To get some components and then again be strong for these rocks. That's the big thing. Now Yorm is going to match in the back, but he is in a very tricky spot. Uh, Something you can do in competitive here, and this sucks, but like I think this is the best thing to do, is you want to pre-fire. Like I know this is they're not like a 5-man calming, I don't think, but you want to pre-fire that I will not be at these rocks. Like you should, um, or that like these won't happen. Now there ends up being jungle play and duo. This is like a bit uncommon at this point, but it can happen. You want to pre-fire that these rocks are fucked because you cannot play them. And generally in solo, if you're losing rocks, you're probably not going to win the game. So this is a really concerning situation. Yorm is extremely struggling in this lane right now. He's quite behind. Uh, Obviously, the health situation is not great. When you're rushing the Reaper builds, you can't really get behind. You can't afford to. And even though he is building the correct thing, this functionally is a very tricky spot. You pair that with Warrior's Axe, a combat starter. Now you have no mana sustain. If you lose your blue buff, that really hurts. Even if you don't lose your blue buff, that hurts. He's going to be losing health here to maintain gold by tanking the wave. That's an okay thing to do, but you're just continuing to perpetuate this thing of like, I can't fight or contest. And this all is kind of spiraling from that first series of trades. So your early game is important, man. What you do in the early game is important. He wants to beeline to his blue right now. Bologna is going to show. So this is like a very common tactic. Notice Susano is actually walking over. You need to make a decision here as a player before this even happens. When he's on these rocks, your blue is going to get invaded here almost certainly. What I would much prefer he did here, because he's just passively sitting here breathing on this thing, is walk over to the left, not onto the rocks, but walk over to the left here, ward this junction or even ward this like doorway, and play up. And if the Bologna walks through the doorway and walks to lane, you book it back and you're fine. And your blue buff's safe. If he doesn't walk this way, that means he's going to your blue or his blue. Either way, you shove the wave. And if he goes to your blue, You shove, right? So he's on your blue, he's going to kill it, but then he has to catch a wave running into his tower, which isn't the end of the world. He'll miss a couple of creeps, which is like nice. It's not going to save your game, but it's going to give you a little bit of like breathing room. You can maybe do the chest camp on the side. You can just get something, right? And that's a confirmed win. You'll get that for 100%. So you'll probably get a couple of a minion advantage. You'll probably get the side camp, and there's no like mechanics to it, no hoping for a good fight to it. It's very, very secure and free, and it's non-combative, which you don't want to have right now. So looking for those angles, having this ward up here literally makes an entire difference on how this early game could go, because here's a recovery angle. Instead, we're going to hover this. I think the Susano's coming over, so their idea is like we can 2v1 this. I really don't know if they can, and I'm pretty sure he's just going to lose the blue, yeah, and then just get ulted out, and then just be completely fine, no? Now he does kind of Bologna up down it. It's a little bit dodgy, but he does have help from the Susan or the Hunbats coming in. And it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Is this a 2-for-1? Now, I want to be clear. I think Bologna does fuck this, by the way. The play here is that Hunbats is coming, so he wants to stall. The biggest thing here is if you are playing to stall, I know this seems early, but your ult gives you prots. You actually have to ult, like, right here. A little bit earlier, sorry. Right before this knock-up, like, right here. That's what I meant to say. You have to ult right here, because if you can cancel this 3, he's fucked, right? He loses damage, he loses CC potential, you're getting auto attack, so you keep your passive up. It's really, really good. If you feel like that's not a good play to make, you just actually walk out, and by the time this kind of combo hits you, I don't think you can do this kind of soft commit ult in. I actually think you keep auto attacking, and as the Susano comes to you, you look for a double with the Hunbats like coming to you. So I think a little bit more patience here actually pays off, or a quicker fire. This ult was kind of like in the perfect middle ground of not really being great. Again, I'm very much nitpicking here, but that's why this isn't like completely lost. I want to like make that thing stress, excuse me, because I think as a player, if your fight seems to go semi okay, and again this one seems to go semi okay, but it's off of like mechanical errors slash decision making error of the other team, that doesn't really feel very good. Again, this kind of works. I don't think this should have worked. So like good that it worked. I'm glad it worked. But I would much prefer we're making proactive plays like that wave shove and like that chest camp that doesn't require the other player to mess up to work, because that should not have worked. I want to be very clear. And you get a bit of a lucky break. Now, small lane swap here. Why is this happening? Merlin was already solo side, so Bologna just fast mid and he catches this wave. This is very normal and will happen every once in a while if there's like a committed rotation. So it's actually quite nice because as the Yorm here, you get to kind of breathe for a second and just chill. He didn't stop the back there. You should probably agility relic in to stop this back. Why? Because this guy really wants to back, and it being annoying here is actually helpful. If you're not going to go stop the back, you should at least check this, but maybe it's already down. Um, and yeah, so he's just kind of breathing here. Bologna's actually still hovering mid, which is pretty surprising. I mean, I'm a bit, so I guess he just wants to do the speed buff. Okay, so yeah, this camp on the side is just up, by the way. You never want to do totem over that camp if it's up, because like, again, you need to be a bit selfish for yourself. Um, yeah, I want him to just do this. He's just not going to do it. That's not good. Also on Yorm, you never max your 2 first. I don't know where this came from. Maybe this is because he doesn't have bluestone, and so he thinks his pool damage is like kind of weak. Well, it is weak, but like, I don't know. You max the 1 and you go bluestone. This is just like there's a couple of these things here that are just like kind of lacking. You know what I mean? And it's a bit silly. I think you should try to not reinvent the wheel a little bit. Yeah, see, and the reason why you don't max your 2, by the way, super simple. You level up an ability and this happens, and now your ability is useless, and now you can't fight. It's like maxing RDO dash first and then dashing away. Same exact energy. It just doesn't do anything, right? So you always max the 1 on this god. Some people ask about, should I go aspect on Yorm? It is a big thing for a lot of the top EU solos to go aspect on Yorm. Me personally, I like base Yorm because of the anti-heal and stuff a bit more, but it is okay. That being said, you would still max the 1 on aspects, so that doesn't really matter here. He gets a back off, he's going to walk back to lane, cool stuff, and yeah, a very forced jungle gank that would never work, so he's just going to go back to clearing. Does he have Reaper done? I don't think he does, right? Rocks are coming up. I mean, shards, excuse me, not rocks. So hopefully he can start to get some of those and just chill out. Um, yeah, he's gonna get his blue buff, so that's fine. Now, I think you're gonna notice he's like a little bit locked into this lane and not in a good way. This is sort of why these matchups are a bit sharp. And I really think Yorm as a character, post his nerfs, I think he's a fine god. But you really have to not be behind because if you're playing Yorm, your idea is that I'm into a melee character and I'm just going to kind of outpressure them and outfight them and control the lane. If you're playing Yorm and you can't control the lane, I think he's one of the most feel bad solos in the game, genuinely. And he kind of always has been. It's just that he didn't spawn in behind in the past, so he wouldn't get behind. He doesn't spawn in behind now, but he could, right? So that's a really important distinction. Again, I think this guy's a very feast or famine. I respect the decision to lock in this character, like given the situation, but by and large, I'm pretty torn on it. When you want to pick Yorm, you want to pick him into a melee draft, as melee as possible. So melee support, melee solo, and ideally into as few knockup immunities as possible. So he doesn't really like match that here. We have knockup immunities on bats. We have, some melee, true in the Bologna, but that's probably the worst melee you could play into. So yeah, Bologna has Lash Rush, by the way, so this fight is just unplayable. And for this contest, you just don't do it. When you steal this one here was great. I want him to just one here and agility relic out, right? Like you need to understand that as a player, you are actually very weak here, and he should know that because he's kind of been getting beat up a bit. This one is phenomenal. You don't even go for the rocks. You just have to preserve your health bar. Try to go over to that side camp, go get that. You know what I mean? This side camp has been really, really neglected. And in a spot like this, generally as solo laners, we're supposed to uh, take the split because we're fucked here, right? Like we can't really fight this. Again, the steal's phenomenal. I'm glad he got it. But after the steal, I'd rather him just stay healthy and just book it because this is going to accomplish very little. He's going to get a couple of rocks, and that's nice, right? But like this weakness that he's creating for himself here is really dodgy. If I'm Bologna here, every single time I'm ulting this, he ulted late here. You ult during the 2 because you cancel the 2, uh, which doesn't matter that much. But when you're using your 2 as you're locked, you can't ult. So if you ult the 2 here, this guy is going to get his ult forced, and he's going to be probably 200 health, right? Once he actually gets his ult off, he's completely forced out, and it's really bad. So this ult is actually quite late. Again, I know it seems like it's not that late. It is late, but yeah, it's a tricky spot. It could have went worse for him. Don't get me wrong. So we have like 2 spots here where it could have went worse, but it's still not great. So rituals lost. Anytime you're losing rituals in Smite 2, you're probably losing the game pretty hard. We see a 1300 deficit on the map. This should get worse. Why? Because laners having refresh TPs mean they can play aggressive and then just like look for a fight. So it's a really problematic spot, especially if you're bleeding a bit in a lane. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Now Yorm should have the Reaper. He hasn't really looked at builds for a bit, but he should have it by now. And he's probably rushing Lash next, maybe Spectral. That's also an okay pickup. He's kind of going to roam a little bit. I think just to avoid the Bologna for a tiny bit. Yeah, because he's just going to come right back, and this like makes sense. It's tricky, man. Like I want to be clear. At this point, it's pretty hard to play. Like this is not supposed to feel amazing. He's doing okay still, but it's not supposed to feel great. I wish we could see gold. Like this player damage is not very useful. I know I'm going over a lot of like nuances and stuff, but they do stack up. It is nice though, because normally when I watch these, and I think he's just dead here, right? Yeah, he should just be dead. Sorry, I completely talked over the point. He doesn't die. That's a little bit lucky. So what's going wrong here? 2 things, right? Number one, we as players should not ever be fighting from behind without a roll top ever. I understand it's coming up. That's not a good reason. You can wait and take this fight 3 seconds later and be infinitely safer. So just do that next time. Number two, if you're gonna go invis, you can't miss your knockup. Like that's really not good, right? This 2 ends up hitting, right? But now, man, this just looks super dodgy. So this is part of why, again, like you don't want to max your 2 because 2ing is actually most likely going to get you killed in a lot of the times in these matchups because he's going to ult your 2 like he just did there. Uh, if we're not maxing our 2, we don't need to use it. So we could even go 1-3 in this lane, hit our 1, hit our 3, and kind of just breathe in the middle. And then if Bologna looks for an ult, we ult the ult, and we're kind of good, and we have to pre-ult if we get behind a certain health threshold. But that's really how you're supposed to play. It's kind of a game of cat and mouse. And whoever twos like this, as Yorm is probably just screwed unless they're ahead. Now again, normally you're spawning in ahead, this is completely fine to do. If you're not spawning in ahead, you can't be tuning like this, leveling this is worthless, this is big time trouble. Now, he does end up living, Bologna does make a mistake here, I want to be very clear. He makes this mistake because he thinks he can just one-shot him. I think it's reasonable, I probably would have generally thought the same here too, it just, again, this is a bit of a lucky break. Notice here how he auto ones. Your one is gap close. You never want to auto one unless you're 1,000,000,000% sure you get this kill. So all he has to do here is auto two and then one to gap close, and this guy's dead. He didn't do that. He did it backwards because he two'd first, or he won first, excuse me. If he autoed, and then two'd with the swing, and then one after, this guy's 100% dead. He's got 50 health, right? So a little bit backwards just because he was trying to one pop him, and he actually ended up biting a bit more off than he could choose. So a little bit of a miss right there, but this force out is still a big deal. Why? No fast TP, no jungle relief. Obviously, you're going to lose this entire wave. You're going to lose this side camp. Generally, here you want to actually prioritize these rocks, especially with the jungler now encroaching on the other side. But he's probably got fast if he's greeting for this, so he's probably just going to fast back and then go to rocks. Again, these rocks are a big deal, so you really want to make sure you're playing for them. And yeah, he does, so that makes sense. I wouldn't ever go for that side camp on solo side unless I had fast, because then I know I can still have prio for rocks. Because if they look for a fight upon each other, right now he's going to win it. Yorm is going to go to his blue, Bologna's going to go to the rocks. This is completely fine and reasonable. And yeah, all right. So he's going to kind of walk, and I actually like this play. He's rotating 2 gold. He's shoved his wave, so he has tempo here. And he's just going to kind of say screw it. And if you want to avoid a laner, this is a good move. Now you want to shove mid here really quick. If you're rotating and doing these kind of semi-shoves, just 1-2 and then play up here. This fight already looks over. No big deal. Sucks that they lost gold. But if you just 1-2 run up, you can just check for jungle and see if you can invade something. This kind of linger around, I think is a really quick way to like not be useful. Like these 3 minions leaving does nothing. Just clear them. Like I want you to be selfish if you're gonna, catch a wave. Like at least finish the wave, right? Because now the problem is like what? We're gonna get kind of like blocked out of this wave, and we didn't even get much. In fact, we actually hurt ourselves here. So you have to 3 ahead of time. I think this is pretty obvious, but like don't let him be able to block you so easily. If you just invis here and you like walk somewhere, you can probably get away with it. Now, I mean, you're gonna commit to a fight. It doesn't look good. Now you do have the Giannis coming, but the problem with Giannis, and this is why I hate this character, I feel like he's just such a useless god half the time. Maybe they kill him anyways, but it's like, man, fuck this character, dude. Holy. I think they are gonna kill him actually though, so it's gonna work out. Is he dead? Close? Not quite. He does die. Yeah, rough. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think this is more of a Giannis moment. This god is garbage. I hate when people play this character. Stop playing Giannis, please. Um, Now, could he have done this better? Yeah, I think so. So, obviously he's like semi-baiting because the Giannis is coming. I like the 3 here. This thing was good. Really, really, really important. And again, this is micro, but like he barely didn't kill him, so I think it's relevant. You need to make sure you are autoing between your abilities here. Like if we were autoing right here into the 2 and then out of it and autoing again, like we do a little bit more damage. He kind of just did no damage for like a couple of seconds there, and it really did hurt him. And so yeah, that sucks. These ults were fine. I don't have an issue with these ults. It didn't quite work. Also like right here, yeah, 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 it sucks. It really does suck. I mean, again, I think this is mostly a Giannis moment. I think literally any other mid laner in the game, that's an easy kill, but it's a Giannis, so yeah, sick of that god. Stop playing him, bro, please. Like he's so trash. I hate Giannis so much. Anyways, um, okay, now what's going on? We are in hell. This lane is completely cooked. I said before it was like, oh, it's not looking good. This lane's not looking good. Again, we don't see gold amount and stuff. It's less about the fact that he's some amount behind, and it's more about the context of the character. Again, I want to be very clear. Yorm is the god you cannot afford to get behind on, and he's behind. So this is not looking good. Again, is the game winnable? Sure, but it's not going to be through solo, and this is just the unfortunate thing of being behind, and he is just going to die here. Yeah, it's not even close, and like, yeah, he's just diving the tower and blah blah blah. It's nothing to be done here. So like, what do we do here as a player? Literally nothing. We have to hide in tower and do nothing. You can't consistently combat, especially when you're getting more and more behinds. And again, it goes against the ideology of the character, but that's sort of why and I think you're gonna notice. I don't know how long I've been recording for, but I've definitely like drawn out every single second of this early game. That's why I do, because you win and lose the game on Yorm in your first 15 minutes of the game. And then everything after is going to be a byproduct generally of how you set yourself up. That's why in ranked, this character is not that valuable comparatively, because ranked is more volatile, there's more throwing, lead building tends to matter less because dual lanes like getting completely blasted or something like that, right? But in competitive play, when the game condenses a little bit, slows down a little bit, players are a little bit more evenly matched and stuff, a god like this with a lead just kind of shuts down the whole match and wins for free. Assume because you're ahead and you spill that lead over in a controlled manner. So this god is much more of a competitive pick for that reason, but yeah, the first 15 minutes are everything. So I talked about it, tried to show it. I was painstakingly, uh, you know, slow on it maybe, but there is a reason for that. Pyromancer gone here. You just have to like beeline shove. I think this kind of lingering is completely useless. You need to shove solo. Something you have to understand as a player, and I have some Smite Prime games and stuff. I don't know if I uploaded them, but they're on the Smite Prime channel. Where I was actually in this matchup as Bologna into Yorm, back when Yorm was super broken. I was 0-6 in a lane like this as Bologna, and part of the reason was I think I was 0-3 at a certain point from some ganks, and I had gotten soloed that game. We ended up winning the game, by the way, but you just have to kind of expend your life at a certain point and like not play for KDA, right? This to me I really dislike because I want you to just keep shoving right, clear the wave, run away, go proxy, whatever. If you're behind, you're not worth much if you die, like, don't even worry about it. When you play passive like this, you're getting nothing, right? This is effectively time spent dead. You're not farming, you're not doing anything. This rotation or whatever this is completely worthless. There's just nothing being accomplished here. You're so much better off just playing up and looking for waves than trying to take that wave posturing into a rotation rather than pathing under here and just accomplishing nothing. I think if you ask Bliss here, the player, like, what are you trying to accomplish here? He's not going to give you a straight answer because there really isn't anything. This is just like I don't want to say tilt, but this is I feel really uncomfortable with the game state. I'm just going to try to force something randomly. You end up walking over, throwing one ability, and you've done 200 damage in 50 seconds. It's just not good enough, right? This is pointless. Now, maybe they'll kill the Yemo because he's completely inting. I love Jiggy, but I don't know what he's doing. Uh, the ult was kind of cool. Yeah, what was he doing here? I mean, this was so silver. Okay, so what happened? Yeah, I mean, like he's just walking up to stun him. So like, okay, maybe he'll get an assist, I guess. Even still, and this is like a complete int, mind you. You're losing a tier 2, you're losing like 13,000 waves, all this stuff. This is a support kill in which you did like 350 damage for. It's really just not good enough, right? This is again the very classic, like I feel stuck in the game. I don't really know what to do because things look tough. You just have to kind of bite the bullet and play very PvE-esque style with proxying and stuff in solo lane, and then make this rotation after. Because if you make this rotation and you're not losing a tier 2 and 4,000 waves, not that bad. But you are, so it's extremely bad. For reference in this play, and again, this is why we'd like to look at gold. We're down 6k gold right now. Before this play, we were only down like 4,900. So, and mind you, most of that gold is being concentrated straight to the solo laner, so it's not a good time. So anyways, he's going to continue this crusade, go over to this left gank. This doesn't work, as you can see, at all. It never was going to work. And now he's going to walk away, walk of shame. You want to get Queen Naga over gold. So if you're red team here, actually, this is not a bad trade at all. The problem with this fight is Susano is playing fight. You have a new aspect who I don't think is super high DPS, and you have a Giannis. Your damage on this is horrific. I don't think this works. This is super forced. I understand why it's happening, but I don't actually think it's going to work. They might be able to get away with it because there is like a numbers disadvantage here. If you are red team, what you should actually do, this is instructive. If you're a red team, what you should do to make sure you don't lose this, because you can fight this pretty easily, is Bologna should understand that over here we have 0 contest. Merlin should kid dump and then walk over after he throws his abilities down to proceed take damage. Bologna will solo finish it, and Merlin can walk over and cycle in and just one-shot all these guys. It's a very like simple play to not need to layer extra people on an objective that's already free. But we'll see what happens. So Gold Fury is getting hit. They're going to accelerate their efforts as Queen Naga has been killed, and they know that. And again, I mean, this is just the definition of scuffed. It looks really, really dodgy. Maybe they'll get it. Susano does die. They do end up securing gold, so that's very nice. We want to just Yormal out here because we are fucked if we don't. I like this Yormal away. I do not want you to dash in. Very important here. You have to go up. You have to go where people are not. And he begins to do that. Thankfully, it's in time. I think he should be okay here. So that's really good. A little bit close, a little bit close. Really have to make sure that you're 1000% confident what you do. But yeah, it's looking a little bit dodgy. Mid ritual, he's gonna rotate to this. There's no fight here. Go solo. This is terrible. Don't do this, right? I think he's played an okay game at times this match. Nothing in the last 3 minutes has been encouraging, and that's just because again, I think he's like out of rhythm, out of sync. And you're going to default to really bad basics, but this is why I talk about fundamentals so much. Nothing here is good. This is all terrible. And this is continuing to be terrible. There is nothing mechanically difficult about clearing a wave, but he's not doing it because he feels lost, and this is just going to keep getting worse. This rotation's pointless. All this sucks. Maybe Emoji has prophetic. I don't know why, but yeah, he's still walking around. Mind you, he has not gotten like look at his XP. I always try to do this when I'm coaching people. Look at his XP. Okay, at 17 minutes, we hit level 13 with 0 XP. We are now at 1745, and guess how much XP we have? Oh, 0, right? Like, what are we doing? This is useless, okay? Don't do this, please, ever. Literally ever. Now we're going to split with Osteg, who is on this useless-ass Giannis god doing 200 damage with a Vortex. It's just not looking good, okay? Not looking good at all. We're going to go over down to solo side, and we are going to clear out this wave, clear out this camp. This is great. It's very late, but it is good. Yorm is going the lifesteal build. We finally got to check, so no problem with that. That's fine. It really feels bad from behind, though, which sucks, but every build feels bad from behind. This Merlin is level 19, by the way. Good idea to ult out. Probably don't want to walk up to this in the first place. When I'm talking about this idea of like non-interaction, I really mean just like be solo right now, right? I don't even want to see him like walk anywhere near. Like right now when they're on Pyro, you just have to like play the map. And playing the map means ignoring everything and everybody and just playing for yourself. He's got this like syndrome, I think, and a lot of solo laners do have this, so this is super constructive and like helpful, I think, for most players, where they feel like they need to be a good teammate. It's like helper syndrome, you know? They feel like they need to be a good teammate or they feel like they need to be involved, but you're not helping anybody by like having a weight around your ankles and just like not being able to play it, right? The most helpful thing you can do in this instance is to be selfish, and we're really not seeing that. And then I think that that's why he's like going from, man, this game is like hard, it's hard to play, we're behind as a team, blah blah blah, to like I literally can't do anything, and he's right now in that situation. Good knock up here. The Merlin overextends but does have Aegis. It looks like they're trying to play for the engage. It is like a good angle, but it's just not quite enough, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, nothing really wrong here. It's just not enough, unfortunately. This is a very good Death Ball draft together with all the CC and Yemo and stuff, and man, it's so tough to play at this point in the game. The point is that you don't get to this point in the game, because this should just be an F6 at this point. It's not looking good. Ooh, ooh. Guys, we can't be doing this. Walk to the right here. So this is bad, number one. But number two, he's already walking to you. So if you walk to the right, you cover more, and you have Agility Relic. I think this Agility Relic needs to be binned. He is not using this nearly enough, or like ever. So let's bin it. But this is bad. I hope he kills him here, man. He's not gonna kill him. Yeah, disaster. It's an absolute horror. There's nothing to be said. Just a horror. Good too. We have the lash proc the lash. I think he does, by the way. It doesn't show because it's spectator, so I think he did. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, well no, that's fine. He held it at a good point. All right, nice job. You were gonna kill him, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, he doesn't get it, which sucks a bit, but that's not his fault. Good job. Nice. Okay, so they kind of inted it. They int it because Medusa's splitting left. You don't need to do this. I think they got a little bit lousy there, but it helps him out a good bit. He did get a kill. Really important now. What do you do? Go shove some waves, right? I know New is shoving his wave over there. He can go solo or duo here, excuse me, and clear these waves because New is clearing solo waves. I don't like this though. This is more of the bad stuff, right? You got to go play some waves, buddy. This is not going to go very well. So more lingering, more kind of grouping. I just don't love it, you know? I don't love it. I feel like he provides no value here. And I want him to just not do this. Like I get it, you don't want them to group and get something for free, but also like this is like phantom pressure and value. You see what I mean? Like what was that? Nothing. And it's cool, but like leave, you know what I mean? Like just abandon ship. Um I mean even if you come into this fight at level 17, there's a bit more hope. But like yeah, it's just tough. This ultimate, obviously a little bit jumpy, but maybe he's going to get some value off. Seems like blue team isn't super down to engage because they don't have the best tools. He's going to go in anyways. Yeah, I mean, look, like right here, so what happens here, actually? We have a very forced Yorm ult because he gets gone on. When you get a first Yorm ult to get gone on, a lot of Yorm players will make the decision to say, I have got to do something with this because this looks bad for me. And it is, but what we need to do is just like not have this happen. So like when we went for this invis engage here that accomplished quite literally uh 0 damage, I believe, maybe 39. We need to not do that because we're taking damage for nothing. You're counter engaged at this point, so when they go in, you dash in, not the other way around. Um, and so as a result, now we're kind of just like backpedaling. We brick a one, and now we're 30% health. We use our ultimate for this, but the problem here again is like we're now poked out. We're trying to use this ult to kind of salvage the fight because we got poked out, and we accomplish nothing. And now we feel like we have to go in because it's like Scuffed, and the Susano thinks it's Scuffed, so he goes in, and they just kind of chain in. Like yeah, you get close to killing this guy, sure, but like you don't, and that's the point. You know what I mean? It's not about getting close. It's about like results. So some people will say, "Oh man, the Medusa was so low that was almost good." No, 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 no. Your fight premise was terrible, and you almost salvaged it a little bit. Nice that you almost salvaged it a bit, but like the solution is to not take the bad fight. It's not, man, I could have got him. That's unlucky. No, I mean that's garbage, right? You can't do that. So yeah, another tough death. Um, it's a bit painful right now. I feel bad. Okay, so Bologna is going to be hitting this. Our Yorm is back. He's also using this cat skin, which I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like the voice lines of this skin are a bit extra. I probably won't be using it anymore. It's a little loud and like invasive to the ears, I guess. There is going to be a kill here, so this is actually pretty good, right? He doesn't have ultimate right now, so he's probably just going to die. I don't mind that. Like I know it looks ugly, but he is making sure without a doubt that this guy does in fact die. Which like yeah, it's a little bit extra committal maybe, but again, you kind of just need to do something. And if it's 4 with fire, it's better than 5. So I don't hate that play. It looks really shit, but it's fine. Okay, so we are back. Shell upgrade is here. Love to see it. It's a nice pickup. I like the shell upgrade on Yorm. I do think it's quite good. I can't tell. Oh, sorry, because he has agility relic. Never mind. I was gonna say I can't tell what his under relic is because normally you do go shell on Yorm. So this is exactly the point. If he just went shell base, he would have upgraded, then he'd have Aegis or beads here and be like kind of happy, but he can't. Too bad. Is there anything here? Probably not. They should be okay. I actually don't hate an engage, but if it doesn't look doable, don't do it. Yemo, yeah, he's fine. Too bad. Okay. Nuke gets picked on right. Yeah, it's on fort. That was kind of bound to happen. When the nuke gets picked, the game is probably cooked because he's the only guy who does damage. The Giannis got dove by the Medusa, so he's kind of inting and having fun a little bit. This will probably just be a dagger force. Yep. Giannis blinks out. Yeah, it's kind of just sad, man. I feel bad. Like there's not much to be said here besides this is just like heartbreaking, you know? Um, I think so many people who are a little bit more new to MOBAs who might be watching this, I've obviously got a lot of newer players on my channel now, so welcome in, guys, and newer people in general. I think they feel like there's an answer here that I have that's like just not existent of like, how would you, get out of this situation? How would you fix this? I wouldn't get in this situation, and if I did, I would lose, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't a player issue at this point, this is just like a situation issue. But as players, what we're supposed to do is try to not get in these situations. But MOBAs are hard, man, and like it's unforgiving when you start to get behind. It's just completely fucked. Knock up there is off the mark. Obviously, you'd like to see that being hit. Nice agility relic attempts. I think he's actually gonna live, so that's nice at least. Red team here a little overexerting. If they just kind of hit Titan, they're happy. They're playing for kills because it's a weekend game. But yeah, it feels bad. I think they're probably going to get wiped here, which is actually quite nice, or at least their Titan's going to hold. So yeah, very end here. I think they probably should have lost the game off that, but overexertion, typical stuff. They'll get two, which is nice. He does have invis here, so maybe he can go for an engage onto this. What is it called? Onto this back line. And they do get three, so it's really, really good. And it looks like they'll kill everybody. No kills for the Yorm here. You really want to try to get one. Maybe you'll kill this Merlin, but I mean, nonetheless, it's more important that they die, so I'm not mad. You got to pop the lash. Ooh. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. You have to pop the slash here. I know it was just coming up, so you probably forgot, but you have to pop the slash. You can't pop it while you're doing, so right now you have to pop it. Doesn't pop it, drops the kill. Also, you have to pre-agility relic this. I know it's a little bit like I know I'm being a bit stingy here, but I kind of have to be, right? You have to agility this way, or lash, and then agility this way, like right away. Because it's pretty streamlined. He's going that way. He's facing it, right? So, and if you get juked, you get juked, but you weren't gonna get juked, so tough. Yeah, rough death right there, and yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good. What's so tricky about this game again is like you struggle in a lane that you're like I would never ever ever say, hey, just don't struggle in this. Like he's gonna struggle in this lane. Uh, and like your character is so like fucked from behind and stuff. It's just like a rough mixture of things. I mean, obviously you didn't play it super well, but like, I mean, what are you supposed to do if you don't know like what you're doing to like a super high level in a lane like this? It's just not going to be easy. All right, a bit of breathing going on here. You got to ult way, way earlier than this. So I try to say like for this god ulting, you should always ult ahead of when you think you need it because you'll get killed a lot quicker than you think. It's pretty frustrating, but like right here, if we're gonna agility in, there's an argument to be made that you actually just ult like right here, by the way. And I probably would. If you're gonna look for an auto trade here, you have to agility garlic in here past these abilities. I know you'll still get hit, but less so, and you're just gonna lash breathe ult. He ends up kind of just like breathing. Like I know he kind of ends up doing that. He doesn't agility relic, but he just kind of like this just like looks so like new best. I gotta be honest. Like this just looks terrible. You just have to like do this quicker. I don't know what else to say. Just do it quicker. You will live. It'll be better. Um, but yeah, I think they all just gonna die here and lose the game. So simplest thing here, just do this faster and you'll be okay. I think he doesn't like course correct that like this is very, 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 very bad quick enough. And you should be like doing that like right now. You know what I mean? Like right now. This is the latest you got right here. And he still goes on for another like 4 seconds and he's just dead. Maybe 3. But you get the idea. And that's probably just game, right? Yeah, so what's the final stats? 178, 25k, 471 gold per minute. And yeah, it was a pretty grim game. What does Weekend say about this? Silence, fitting. Or maybe he said something earlier.
Pressure out of damage. Mass. You have a cripple root.
Oh, what is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about
Explain to
Scylla.
chat how Scylla support works.
Okay, he's explaining how Scylla support works. Yeah, that's not helpful. Um,
One bliss.
okay, does he say anything here?
Sheesh. That's a
Oh
rough
man,
one. That's a rough one. Bliss,
that is a rough one.
buddy,
Uh-oh.
very clear about your laning phase that you, first of all, do not think you're as good as these people in these lobbies. Second of all, you're panicking and just doing weird things,
True.
like over and over again. You never knocked up the Bologna, not once. He kept ulting your 2, so you knew he was going to do it, and you didn't
True.
even play around it.
True. That's why you don't max the 2. No, this is a good analysis. I'm with this.
The
True.
one fight, you were actually still okay up until that one fight where you ulted the Bologna. AO on the Janus was hitting the Bologna.
Yup.
And then you walked in and 2'd instead of knocking him up first.
True.
So
Yeah, that was a bit bad. Now, again, all of this gets changed if we just don't level the wrong ability. Because I think the reason he's overplaying it is because he's leveled it. So there's a feeling of, I need to get the investment off of the thing I leveled or else I can't do damage. Which is like, just don't level it. And you have to like know that stuff. So I hope he plays next time. Doesn't go Axe. Doesn't level his 2. Goes Shell. All that stuff will help big time.
you died, and it just all went downhill from there.
Yeah, agreed.
Your lane
Smite's
is
a hard
just
game,
weak
man. MOBAs are
because
tough.
you're playing it wrong. I don't know. It looked like you were so focused on making sure you got up multiple pools that
MOBAs are tough, man. I think that's the only thing I can say. MOBAs are tough. Yeah, sometimes you just got to get thwacked a little bit. But look, it was a fun time to watch. I am excited because nonetheless, that was a much better group of players he played against in the last ELO Hell, and he got like whopped in that one. So this is how Smite works, man. It's a peak. It's a series of like stairs and I guess valleys and also plateaus, and you play against better players, you look worse. But in that Obsidian lobby, he fried, right? So like that's kind of what it's about, and you just got to get better one day at a time. So fun watch nonetheless. I do appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know if you want to see more stuff of this style in the future. Obviously, big shout outs to Weekend for having this so I can react to it because it's always fun to do stuff like this. And I'll see you guys super soon. Peace out.